Hey guys, here's the full rundown of Yuta, aka Cursed Partners, in Jujutsu Shenanigans. First of all, Yuta possesses a base moveset including sword attacks and also a second moveset, Rika, the Queen of Curses. First, let's check out the base moveset. Yuta's first ability is Severing Path, which is a slashing attack that starts with 5 slashes, followed by an additional quick 4 attacks if you hit the last hit. It is blockable, but it also comes in an air variant. You have to be above jump height to activate the air variant, so you will need to wall run or use some other technique to gain height. Then, you perform 5 jabs midair, and during that duration, you float. If you hit the enemy, they are stun locked and get plummeted into the ground by your kick at the end. Yuta's second ability, Resolute Slash, is a very quick dash that stuns the opponent and then you slash them from behind. You have to aim the ability, but it has a pretty high range. The initial stun from the teleport can be blocked if the opponent manages to block the stun, and if they are quick, they can also turn around to block the slash from behind. Next up, Veil Step is a very versatile ability. It's a 2-step utility attack. If you use it once, it's a swift retreat that also throws the enemy into the air. This part of the attack can be blocked. After using this, you can use the second part of the ability again. This time, you will perform a long leap with a powerful ground slam attack that breaks blocks. The cool thing about this ability is that once you use the first retreat part of it, the leap ground slam attack stays ready, and the ability does not go on cooldown until you use it, so you can actually use Veil Step, chain it with other abilities, and only after that use the leaping attack from this ability. The fourth ability is Revolve. It's a twirling 2-part sword attack that pulls the opponent you are slashing into the air with you. That can be blocked though. Once midair, you can activate Revolve again to activate the Impale attack. This part of the attack is unblockable, but keep in mind that you have to aim the attack and hit the target. This attack can also be used standalone by, for example, wall running and performing a long Impale attack on the target from far away. By the way, you can also use the first part of Revolve and then chain it with the air variant of Severing Path. Now let's explain the Rika moveset. You can summon Rika to follow you around by pressing R. Rika cannot be destroyed and can move freely around the map. Then you can press R again to switch to her moveset. You can use one of her abilities, and then you will switch back to your base moveset. You can immediately switch back though. You can also completely hide Rika by double pressing the special R key. Rika will always target the same opponents as you or the one you are aiming at. Otherwise, she will target the closest enemy. Fun fact, Rika can actually get stuck outside of a domain expansion while she follows you, and you can't use her abilities then. Her first ability is Rika Downslam. It's a close-range attack where Rika travels to the opponent and downslams them. This ability is blockable. It also has an air variant. If you launch the enemy into the air with an ability like Resolve, you can use Rika midair to slam the opponent into the ground. The second ability is Rika Launch. It's a simple utility ability that launches you straight into the air. It also cancels any attack you were currently performing. It can be paired nicely with Resolve. Next up is Rika Throw. Similarly, here Rika will throw you, but more like a javelin. You can land on the opponent to deal quite decent damage, but if you miss, you will take damage yourself and also get ragdolled for a significant amount of time based on the airtime. And lastly, the fourth ability is Rika Haymaker. It's a powerful punch that cannot be blocked. It has a pretty close range though, and actually, if the opponent blocks this attack, they will get punished for it and will be ragdolled for a longer duration. Now onto a simple full combo. When you fill up your Awakening bar, you can activate the Awakening True Love. This will first slightly heal you and change your abilities. Rika will now also stay summoned throughout the whole Awakening duration, and you cannot despawn her. In the Awakened moveset, Rika's first and second abilities stay the same, but the third and fourth ones change. The third ability is now Rika Slam, which grabs the opponent and slams them into the ground repeatedly. This move is unblockable, and the fourth ability is now the iconic Rika Grab. Rika grabs the opponent, releasing them only after they take damage. In order to perform this, the opponent must first be ragdolled. This only lasts 2 seconds. Now on to Yuta's new moveset. The first Awakening move is Elbow Rush. It's an unblockable lunge attack with which you can catch the enemy. Then you will perform a devastating attack with a flurry of punches alongside Rika and deal massive damage. Next up is Copy. By default, it activates Cursed Speech, which stuns all surrounding enemies for 3 seconds. In order to copy someone else's ability, Rika will have to interact with them. That means either using Elbow Rush or other attacks from Rika's moveset. Then you will be able to use the ability from a character you interacted with recently. For each of the characters, it is predefined which ability you will copy from them. You can see them in this spreadsheet. You can even get Hollow Purple. The third Awakened ability is True Love Beam. It's a devastating ability similar to Gojo's Hollow Purple, but it's a beam that does continuous damage. The further the enemies are from the beam, the less damage they will take. Also, the more players are hit, the more damage spreads between them, thus reducing the overall damage they take. This move can be interrupted though. This ability also has another variation, where if you toggle it a second time while it's on wind up, you will perform a lighter version of this attack, still dealing good damage with a substantially lower cooldown. And now let's explain the final Awakened ability, Domain Expansion Authentic Mutual Love. In the domain, your goal goal is to walk up to the katanas. Once collected, you will perform a slashing attack on the opponents. The attacks will vary, but you have to directly hit the opponent to contribute to the 4 stacks. You can also cancel the slash beforehand by pressing the ability key 4 again. You can also use this to perform a long-range version of this attack, but that way it doesn't contribute a stack. Once you get 4 stacks, you can use the ability 4 again and perform an extension technique, maximum output, Jacob's Ladder, on an enemy. This destroys the domain and deals massive damage to the targeted enemy. If the enemy is awakened, it also drains 50% of their awakening bar. Otherwise, it only consumes 35% of it. And that is it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya!